I know my dentisting people, and I'm here with one of my favorite dentisting humans, Dr. Travis Campbell. And Travis, we've been friends for a while, but I want to start off with a question. Do you like helping patients? Yes or no?
No, never. No, I love helping patients. I mean, that's what we
We
do
love
all day
helping
long.
patients. We got into dentistry to help patients, right? We got
Mhm.
into Also, Travis, do you like making money?
Of course, that's why we work.
So you like to help patients
Mhm.
and you like to make more money. But I have a third question. Do you want to work more hours each week?
No, I want to work
No,
less.
but I thought we all love dentisting. Well, spoiler alert, dentisting hours are dog year hours. Full contact arts and crafts on people that don't want to be there, even when we're helping them, even when we're making money, is emotionally exhausting, Travis. It's spiritually exhausting. It's backly
Mhm.
exhausting. It's physically exhausting. So all of us in the dentisting world, in our own way, are thinking, how can we help more patients be more profitable, but not have to work more hours? Whether you're working, I've never met a dentist, Travis. You can work 25 hours. They don't want to work 26. They can work 40. They don't want to work 41. They can work 15. So all of us are bonded together and our
Mhm.
teams too. So we have come up with, as partners here, the Dental Nachos Fall CE Conference, which focuses on an increase in patient care and profitability. And we have an amazing group coming to Philadelphia to meet us in person. But I know my dentist people, Travis, they sometimes have reasons they can't come to Philadelphia. What our parents might call excuses. What are some of those excuses you've heard in your career running conferences?
It's too far.
It's too far.
I can't make that weekend. I have too much going on. I don't know if my team can go. Those are the common ones.
I've also heard it's too expensive, and I see them in Positano. And I go, are they giving out free trips to Positano, dentist? No. But listen, Travis, I hear you can't beat them, join them. So we have this great group coming. And if people are interested in coming, please reach out to us. Text Travis at 215-543-6454 to learn about how you can be at this party Friday, September 30th to Saturday, October 1st in person. But there is a whole universe of dentisting humans out there that would like to get this information from the comfort of their couch, and also the ability to watch it later. And in a more totally authentic way, I'm a dad, you're a dad, people have stuff going on. So there could be something that weekend where they say, I can't be there, but I would like this information. So we've created the Souvenir Recordings and live stream packages. You're an author, Travis. I'm a creator of online CE. Just talk about for a minute, what is the benefit of having content that can help you and you can use anytime, listen to anytime, watch anytime, and this one, share with your team at any time?
I mean, the biggest problem right now, the challenge that the offices are talking about all the time is team changes.
Yeah.
We've got new team members if we're growing. We've got replacement team members if people are moving on. We got team members changing jobs within the same, office. So there's a lot of times we need to train them. And training is costly, expensive, time consuming. So if you can train your team off something that's already put together, that's huge.
And I'm with you, because this is the word I kind of brought to my team's life yesterday when I was sharing with them why we would want something in our universe like this. Onboarding is exhausting.
Mhm.
Somebody says they're going to move across the country because they got a new job. Hooray for you. Now you have a new person in your office who doesn't know insurance, doesn't know how we talk to patients, doesn't know how we talk about money, does this, and you have to now create this. So one of the things I want to bring to life is this opportunity for dentists and teams and office managers is a great way to onboard new team members. They could have 10 plus hours of how insurance works, how to talk to patients about finances, how to communicate with patients, how to get along as a team, how to do more of what you love. And it's a great opportunity to share with new team members, here's how you can be successful here. I would love onboarding systems for everything I do, Travis, because that creates tremendous amount of energy, effort, and at times pain onboarding new people. Have you experienced that too?
Oh, absolutely. We would
Um,
much rather have somebody who's been around for years than have to bring on someone new.
And I have to share in the game of dentistry. I mean, I got my basketball over here. There's actually not a lot of time, and by not a lot of time, none time to do this during the game of office days. I mean, I have Kate, my amazing office manager, one of my favorite people on earth. and she is kind and she can help people. She got no time at 10:32 when someone's complaining and this is happening here to talk to the new team member about how to submit EOBs or how to deal with rejected claims. She doesn't have any time to say, we don't say teeth fail, we say they retire. We don't say that this is expensive, we say this is a cost or investment, just simple things like that. So we have created an opportunity for anyone to consume this information like an awesome plate of nachos on their own terms. So let's just go through and talk about this. I do want to just highlight the things you as dentists, associates, dental students, team members, assistants, hygienists will learn is how to improve treatment plan acceptance, answer the do you accept my insurance challenge for patients, learn how to utilize membership clubs, analyze the nutritional facts of your dental insurance, figure out how dental insurance can help you and your patients. So Travis, we're friends. How many insurances am I in network with?
None.
None. And how many are you in network with?
Countless.
Countless. So you're incredibly successful, and it's not a money contest. I now have a 4-year-old, Travis, and my 8-year-old pokes at her and says, I ran here faster than you. And she yells out, it's not a contest. And it's cute and it's true. When I say to my 8-year-old, knock it off. It's not a money contest. There's someone who does twice your production, and it's a happy contest. I said I wanted to write a blog post about making less money and being happier might be the best plan for everybody, right? So I like Gary Vee. He knows people who have companies that do $5 million. The founder's happy. He grows to 10 million. The founder's miserable, right? So it's not about money, but money is a metric. Your practice with the equivalent of a full-time general dentist in network with many insurances. What is your yearly collections?
2.7 million.
So it's possible to be in network with insurance, collect a lot of money, because you have found that insurance helps you be more successful.
Yes.
And I have found being in network with insurance at this time does not help me be more successful, but I work with insurance every single day. I work with it. People ask me about it every single day. People ask me about insurance at parties, Travis. Do they ever ask you about weird stuff at parties because you're a dentist?
No, never.
Yeah.
At least not in the last 2 days.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, stop bothering your dentist. They're just trying to have nachos. People go, what about my insurance, spoiled guac PPO? Some people, Travis, are telling me stories about dentists I don't even know. They go, my dentist doesn't take spoiled guac PPO. Why doesn't he take it? I'm like, I don't know. He's in Omaha. I don't know him. So as dentists, whether you're going to meet Todd Fleischman, you're going to like him better than me. Everybody does. But he is the opposite of you. Total opposite. I'm out of network. You're in network with a lot of plans. He's fee for service, right? Yep. He is pay ahead of time. He inherited this practice, and then he bought it from a legacy, an amazing dentist, and he kept it going. So he deals with insurance all the time. So insurance can be a help to you, whether you're in network or out. And you coach a lot of clients, Travis, and you run, what is your website called that people can sign up for?
Dentalinsurancegui.com.
And when you're doing these Q&As, you're getting them from practices that are all over the map in their relationship with insurance?
Oh, yeah. We get out of network. We get fee for service. It doesn't matter, because here's the thing. Our patients still have the insurance. They want to utilize the benefit that they have. So no matter what our participation is with the insurance companies, our patients still have it, and they want the best out of it. And one of the big things is if we get denied on claims, it doesn't have anything to do with in or out of network. It's often because of poor documentation or poor understanding of the policy. So if we understand insurance better, our patients win. So
this is where I'm going to share in this moment, people watching. If someone says, I'm not in network with insurance, I don't need this information, they're misguided, right?
Mm-hmm. Especially because 2 to 3 people are not in network for the conference.
Todd has been speaking with me for years, and he said early on, people want to use their benefit, which I call coupon, I use coupon, and he's had his team spend time helping someone get their $350 back. They might have paid $2,000 for his crown. So if you think you're fee for service and this isn't for you, think again, as my mom would say when she tried to kindly annoy me. So this is an opportunity. Now, point 6, Travis, you kind of brought up, and you were bringing this up this morning on the Facebook group. Dentists get very emotional about insurance, right? And I know I agitate to sell is human with Daniel Pink. one of my favorite books. There's a difference between agitation and irritation. You don't want to be someone who irritates, but being someone who agitates is good. And I strive to be that. I know some people might say irritate, but I was agitating the group about insurance. Tell us about proper billing and coding and how you help offices with that, and how people watch this. They're going to say, I'm so glad Travis told me XYZ to get paid on scaling and route planning, this and that. Give us an example of that.
Well, proper coding. I mean, there's so many codes out there of services we are already doing that could be covered, or at least, if you're out of network, insurance could pay more to the patient for what you're doing, which means guess what? Your patient's paying you less. They like it. The other option is if you're in network, there are many codes that you can add fees to those, quote unquote, lousy fees. Well, just bump your fees up with other codes. So that makes a huge difference. But then on both sides, you talk about denials. A vast majority of crown denials, build-up denials, SRP denials. I get these things all the time. It's at least weekly. And every single time there's a denial, it's because there's poor documentation. And yet the funny thing is, every dentist comes to me and goes, I have awesome documentation. I'm like, I'm sorry, you don't. Here's what awesome looks like. And they're like, oh, yeah, mine looks nothing like that. I'm like, yeah. And here's the fun part. Dentists tell me all the time, I don't have time to get all that extra information. I'm like, look, it takes 30 extra seconds to get the right information you need. And here's what's the best part. It will save your front desk 1 to 2 hours per case for you to spend that extra less than a minute to get the right information.
I mean, what you said, I don't know if Kate will watch this, she hears me a lot, but she would probably jump to the screen and hug you, because her team accidentally does this one thing wrong, and it creates sometimes hours of work for us not to commit fraud. I'm like, we can't be fraudulent, Kate. Like, and I'm not saying but this is a problem. You can accidentally be fraudulent with a small checkbox to somebody new. So taking the time to prevent those hours later is key. And I think one of the things, and I think you and I are helping the dental industry, there's sometimes a lot of extremes in how people eat food and how people save money. And they say, and now trainers have gotten with the program and say, you shouldn't call it a cheat day, that's what you eat, right? Just because you eat a muffin or a piece of cake doesn't mean you have to think of it, say a cheat day. Reframing your relationship with dental insurance. You're really a loud voice for that. Just tell us, if you're talking to a dentist thinking, I'm kind of in network, I should go out of network, I might be out of network, I'm starting a practice. What does reframing your relationship mean to you? Or how should they look at insurance, not necessarily as an enemy, but as something that can be not a partner, but how can they use it to their advantage to maximize happiness?
So, and I am the most logical person in the world. And years ago, this never made sense to me until I saw it in action so many times. The way we think life is going to go usually ends up with life going that direction. We make so many day-to-day decisions that if we have a expected outcome, our brain is going to pick the choices that will lead us towards that expected outcome. Meaning, with insurance, if you expect insurance to be a pain in the ass, if you expect insurance to cause challenges and problems and be the worst thing ever, guess what? Self-fulfilling prophecy, it will be. If instead you think about insurance as it's an annoyance, but it is an important thing to do for our patients, then guess what? It will be far less of a problem, and you will find ways to make it actually work and be successful. And that's what I teach people, is how to look at insurance as a way to help your practice and your patients and deal with the BS that they do. Okay, fine. Yes, they're going to be an annoyance, but I hate beating my head against the wall.
Right.
And that's what so many offices I see do, is they're like, we have all these problems. We don't want to fix our end of it. And so they keep beating their head against the same wall, and the wall's not ever going to move. Insurance companies will not change, but we can change and make life easier.
I love this. I was just talking to an implant rep who came to visit me, Travis, and I want to bring something up that I think we all have been very irritated by the rep who looks at the composite we're using, and composite A, and say, composite A stinks, use my company, composite Z. Mm-hmm. And you're using it on your patients, and it's really offensive. I would love if they just said, hey, our composite is good too. Maybe you want to test it out. I would say, when we become angry with patients about something they have, it's not a relationship builder, right?
Correct.
Even if there's a lot of accuracy to it. So what I think we can do is, for someone who says so many words to dentists and talks fast, when I talk to patients, it's like much slower in just a few sentences. Like, hey, Travis, your dental insurance is like a coupon. It has restrictions, and we're going to do the best job possible to maximize the benefit of your coupon for that. Kate's going to help you. You don't need to say 98 sentences that back in 1993, this paid more, this paid less, the benefits haven't. If I have patients I'm friendly with, sometimes I will go on rants and say, this insurance hasn't increased their maximums. I know you're going to do a whole thing on maximum, but in general, I say like 5 sentences and patients get it. So what we're doing is putting this information together for you to consume. We have 3 options here. So our first option here is our Souvenir Recordings and Loaded Nachos. So Travis, people are going to get the Souvenir Recordings of Dr. Travis, Dr. Paul, Dr. Todd talking about decreasing dental insurance annoyance, proper billing and coding, how to build a fee-for-service dream team, even if you're not ready to be fee-for-service, how to talk to patients. Those recordings are part of every package. But we layered in a few extra bonus toppings for Loaded Nachos. The pre-event virtual mastermind. You're someone who spends a lot of time on Zoom, and I do. What is the value of, if you sign up for this, getting your team to jump on with us? And I call it ATQ. Ask the question that's bugging you. Bring the specific thing of something that happens. You do this with the dental insurance guy. How is that valuable to the people who are part of it?
You talking about the mastermind sections?
Mastermind, just like a private session where you say, hey, I'm part of this. Do you find that people feel more confident asking their specific thing than
absolutely. Absolutely. In private, people give far more details, be far more vulnerable, and that's how they find the answers. But here's the thing about masterminds is you can go to a course and get a lot of information and implement some of it on your own. But I get this thing all the time of, well, this thing won't work for our specific office because of X reason. And the mastermind's there to help solve X problem, because everybody's going to come to an event and go, here's my issue with what I learned. Here's why it won't work for me. I'm like, no. The way to look at it is, how do we make it work for us? Yeah. And sometimes it's not so simple. And that's what the mastermind's about, is ask that specific question and get your specific answer, so that not only can you get the information you want, but you can actually be able to implement it quickly, effectively. And I mean, here's the best part. People who use the information we're going to give them for this event can make their money back in a month or less.
That is,
and then they have it for life.
And I've been a speaker for many years, and you have too, and I've been a participant. And I know sometimes I have the urge to ask my question and say to the speaker, could you answer this question about a 44-year-old dad who lives in Philadelphia and likes nachos? Because people want to make it all about them, and that's not possible in a giant lecture. But in these virtual masterminds, you can, and the people watching on the virtual mastermind, they like that, because then they're really digging into the details. Now, the pre-event mastermind is for you and your team to show up, ask the questions, learn from us, get tips and tricks that we might not necessarily be sharing in the course. You'll get a recording of that. But what I'm excited for, Travis, is we've all done it. You go to an event, you're going to say you're going to do A, B, C, D, E, F. Then Monday happens, your hygienist calls out, and you don't do any of it. So the post-event checkup, 30 days later, where do you see the value for teams and dentists for that?
Is to get the momentum still going. You're going to go in, and often you're going to have this excitement and energy, and you got 10 things you want to do, and you do one of them. And then the excitement and energy fades off, and you don't get everything else done. And I'm like, well, then you wasted that info. So, having a check-in later is well, did you get anything done? And here's the thing, what challenges are you coming up with? And find answers to your challenges, because everyone's going to have challenges trying to make a change. So our goal is to help you get past those roadblocks.
I call it the stick with it instead of the give up ability. And I've done many things where I've given up on. Now, yes. I know you like to give me, your own kind of noise, but you've seen me present at your event. You've seen me present online. One of the things people are going to get is a customized session for me about how to talk to patients. And it can, I did this in Arizona once, Travis, for a new dentist who said, I need your help. I did it before one of the summits. I went there for his whole team. And sometimes it's one thing. So I had said there, don't be so negative to patients. When a crown needs to be replaced, not failed after 8 years, celebrate it and say, we eat 1,000 meals a year. That's 8,000 meals. Great job, Millie. And he said to me something cool through text. He goes, I hear my hygienist saying that all the time, and patients really like it because patients like hygienists. So what do you think the value of me spending time with your team, breaking down how to just speak to patients, what kind of impact do you think that would have on a dental office?
Most offices, huge. I mean, the average treatment acceptance for an office is 40%, which is crazy that we're doing things that can help people and yet they're not getting accepted. It's all about how you communicate with them. I mean, that's our number one challenge in dentistry. And I tell people all the time, associates, owners, it doesn't matter. Our number one thing that's going to change our career is learning how to talk to patients better, learning how to connect with them so that they actually decide, yes, I want to move forwards and get this done with you. I mean, you can convince them all day long that the procedure is necessary, but then if you don't convince them that they want to work with you, they'll go down the street and do it with, your competitor.
I love what you said. I had a lecture to dental students for years. I'm a dentist now. And I said, there's only two things you have to worry about: your likability and your credibility. And I just want to tell you, when you're 29 years old, you're not very credible, and that's normal. You wouldn't trust you. So you better really focus on your likability. When Paul Goodman at 44 says you would benefit from an implant, people trust me more than 29-year-old Paul Goodman, and they're going to trust 64-year-old Paul Goodman more. So you better really focus on likability as early as possible. It's important at any age or stage of your career, but it's key for your team to not say words that are just flat out offensive to patients about the teeth living in their mouth.
Right. Well, here's another one that's really fun. It's all about trust too. And there was a study on trust that said the more complex the concept, the exponentially harder it was for someone to trust you, even if they already knew you ahead of time. The more complex the subject, the harder it is to trust, which means we as dentists usually make things as complex as possible the way we normally describe things to patients. So when we simplify them, when we remove the dental language, you make it easier for your patient to trust you.
And you're certainly right. I mean, a lot of my piece of this is going to be part of my confusion is the killer of case acceptance, because a confused person just tunes out. It happens to all of us. It happens to me. I go to this gym, I want to join it, and they make it so complex. I go, I can't process this. I kind of rationally know it's a good idea to be a member of this gym, but I just really can't understand how to be it. So I think it's great. We're also going to add in 5 free Dental Nachos on-demand 6-month subscriptions to learn anytime, anywhere. A watch and party pass for you and your team with Dental Nachos t-shirts, which are fantastic for the gym and formal events. You have one of those t-shirts too, Travis. You cut the sleeves off, wear it to any wedding. So this value is $3,770, but we have it for only $1,995, our loaded nachos until a certain time. So take advantage of that for you and your team. You will be glad that you did. You'll be glad that you have this Souvenir Recordings to use it anytime, anywhere. I know our dentist people though, Travis, and maybe I'll actually, you like choices, right? Patients like choices, dentists like choices. If we said this was it, we do have 2 other options that are at a lower price point. We have our bonus guac package, which is the Souvenir Recordings, and the Masterminds for that, which is $1,195. It's a value of almost $1,400, $1,195. And if you are someone who says, I love that you're doing all this, guys, but I simply would like to have the Souvenir Recordings so that I can onboard my team members, learn at any time with Self-Study CE, you can purchase the Souvenir Recordings for $995 until a certain time there. And you'll be able to utilize that to onboard your team as well. So Travis, I'm proud of what we've created. Is there anything that I missed on our menu, our Always Be Connecting menu of success for our virtual Nacho and Travis and Todd fans?
Well, one thing to think about for those who tend to look at costs, you talk about a conference. The conference for most people is going to be $1,000 or more per person. So if you have a team of 5, you're looking at $5,000. Travel expenses are going to need to be another $5,000. So you've got a $10,000 value for $2,000 for a regular team. You get the larger the team, though, the bigger the value.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing to think about is this is only $400 a person as opposed to $2,000 a person in a normal sized office. And then you're looking at all the future use you can get out of it too. Yeah. The other thing to think about is, again, if you utilize the information, you will make your money back in less than a month.
And I do this a lot, Travis, and I'm being like totally genuine with this as a leader of Dental Nachos, dentist job at my office. Sometimes my team will say, oh, we're not going to do this. I say, well, we're going to test it out because I want to be the type of leader where my team does do this. So if we're going to bring in a consultant to listen to us for 2 hours about how we can get along better in any company, we're going to listen. So I don't give up. And I think it's a great opportunity, since these are core components of what we do every day. How money moves through your office, how we communicate with patients, how we manage to our treatment plan acceptance. And then I want to add, on a fun thing, Travis, make it fun for your team with the F's, food, finances, and fun. Get people together, get them to watch, buy them pizza, have them ask questions. It's just such a great opportunity to bond your team together in a setting that could be comfortable for them. Take pictures of yourself watching it. I will share, Travis, that I like both, right? I go to the gym, to a fitness class, but I might work out at my home gym. You go to a C course, but then you can get this information later. So I'm proud to be doing this, Travis. I want to ask you, when you come to Philadelphia, what is your favorite nacho topping? I want to make sure it is in your room right when you get there, and in giant plate. Gold, crypto? Should I put crypto on top of your nachos?
Oh, I mean, if we're talking non-edible things, sure, money's always great, but steak is good. Steak cheese is good too.
If you've watched this long, I hope you've gotten awesome value. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at dentalnachos.com. You can email salsa@dentalnachos.com, and you can call or text 215-907-0183. Thanks, Travis.